In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The earth was without form, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God was moving over the face of the waters. And God said, "Let there be light." And there was light. And God saw that the light was good. And God separated the light from the darkness. Each Sunday, we are bathed in God's light. For generations, MACC stained glass windows have served not only as a reminder of the trials and sacrifices of our ancestors, but also of their hopes and dreams for the future. Their images tell the story of our journey as Christians, and they inspire our imaginations. Today it is hard to imagine a MACC without these vivid works of art. But without the commitment of our congregation, these priceless treasures might have been lost forever. When Madison Avenue Christian Church opened its doors in 1913, only the 2 stained glass windows in the front of the sanctuary were already in existence, purchased at a staggering cost of $1,000 apiece. The church commissioned the studio of John B. Alberts in Louisville to design the new windows, which were to consist of the opalescent glass developed by John Lafarge and later made famous by Louis Tiffany. These windows are among the largest remaining windows produced by the Alberts studio, and as a result are quite rare and irreplaceable works of art.
I always like to speculate on what came before certain events, and I think about the windows, the 2 windows that were original to the church in 1913. The one was given by the Kendall family, and Dennis Chapman has found some information that indicates that Joseph Hagan, when he was a young divinity student in Lexington, lived at a boarding house owned by the Kendalls. And my guess is that somehow he inspired them, or maybe the other way around, and that when it came time for the church to be built, that he probably had stayed in contact with these people, and that this may have been how that window came to be paid for in our church. The other window across from it, the Hanks window, my guess is that at the 4th Street Christian Church, Joseph Hagan, of course, was the minister there starting in 1904, and my guess is that he inspired them. W.T. Hanks was a longtime church clerk who died about 1905, and my guess is that that planted the seed for the gift of these beautiful windows.
In 1929, the church began a large building project to construct the new educational wing. In addition to renovations to the kitchen and fellowship hall, plans were made for a new stained glass window given by Sisters Lyda Fant and Molly Pierce in memory of their family. The new window was dedicated on Easter Sunday, 1930, as the nation found itself in the early days of the Great Depression.
The next window to be installed was the Light of the World window given by Lyda Fant in 1930. And Lyda Fant had started the Loyal Daughters class around 1904, 1905, something like that. And apparently she had never married, and as she was nearing the end of her life, close to 1930, I'm sure that she planned to give this window with her sister, Molly Pierce. And they dedicated that window to their ancestors who had apparently been among the pioneers of the Disciples of Christ Church when it was in its beginning stages. With 3 of the 4 very large windows now having been with art glass, stained glass, expensive stained glass windows, the speculation was always who would step up and replace the 4th window with beautiful stained glass windows. And the thought was that possibly the Heiser family would want to do that in honor of Joseph B. Heiser. Ray Heiser was his son and was a long-time church leader after his father died. But as it came close to 1950, the decision was made that a lot of people in the church might want to have a part of the gift of that window. And so people were asked to give, if they wanted to have their name on the plaque, somewhere between $50 and $100, either $50 or $100. And those are the names of the people on the plaque of the window that was installed in 1951.
By the 1990s, concerns had begun to arise about the condition of the windows. 30 years earlier, a protective cover had been added to the outside, but over time it had begun to deteriorate. After several aborted attempts, the Long-Range Planning Committee decided to act, approving an extensive plan to restore the windows for the church's centennial celebration. The church hired Kenneth von Rowan's Architectural Glass Art, Inc., the successor of the Alberts Studio, to oversee the project to preserve the windows for another century. A year later, the project is complete, and the results are breathtaking. The damaged frames have been repaired, and the outer covering has been replaced with protective glass, making the colors as vivid as they were for MACC's first service back in 1913. The windows that have inspired so many members of the past will continue to brighten the Sundays of future members. Over the past decade, MACC has reached out to the community around it, with weekly community dinners, a healthcare clinic, and a Samaritan car care program. Now, for the first time in over a generation, the outside community will see our windows, beautifying the surrounding neighborhood, a symbol of a congregation whose light truly shines from within. A century ago, God put us here to provide light amidst the darkness. Now, we've answered the call.